Welcome and good afternoon, everyone. Now I will present the final presentation in Entrepreneurship in Another Perspective class. Part 1. Let's see IAP definition in my perspective. As we all know, entrepreneurship consists of two words, which came up from intra and preneurship. Intra itself leads to the person who works in a large company as a development team, and preneurship means developing innovation with extraordinary creativity and ideas to produce a product that can profit the company. But therefore, entrepreneurship itself has a narrow meaning, which means an employee in a big company who relies on their ideas and creativity and turns it into innovation or a product that can generate profit for the company and is fully responsible for it. But what I learned from my perspective, adding in another perspective can make a whole new broader definition. Intra is no longer means only a worker in the field of development, but intra means ourselves. So every individual has capabilities for partnership, but mostly hidden in our mindset. So in my perspective, here is the definition of entrepreneurship in another perspective. So as a person, we can use our creativity, skill, strengths, and ideas to create innovations, new products, or new things in an economical way that will give us benefit and give not only profit but happiness to ourselves and our surroundings. Now the second part, the 40P factors and why I choose this aspect as the most important one, and in my perspective. In my opinion, all aspects of the EAP are essential and have their respective roles. However, if asked to choose what is the most important one, I will choose the 40P factors. Because, as said in the module, 40P factors are like the roof, and the other aspect is the housing body. When making a house, of course all parts are necessary so that the house can be occupied. For example, we already have excellent and sturdy pillars, but we cannot be protected from heat or rain if there is no roof, and the house cannot be lived. All of these 40 factors are essential and are connected to the concept of entrepreneurship in another perspective. But if I were asked to choose what is the most critical aspect in the 40P factors, I would select purpose, planning, and partnership. The reason why I choose this because without a goal, we will not be able to move forward and have no motivation in the first place. Then the second is planning. Planning is an important aspect in all fields. We must plan so that our work will be organized and end up like what we want. Then the third is a partnership. A partnership is important because if we have a partner in doing business, we will be helped a lot during our work and fill each other's shortcomings. Now let's move on to part 3. How can IAP relate to social or sustainable entrepreneurship? I will explain the reason in the next slide. IAP is closely related to entrepreneurship because I learned that every entrepreneur is an entrepreneur, but not every entrepreneur is an intrapreneur. But the question is, how is this relate to social or sustainable entrepreneurship? I will explain this in the next slide. Before I explain about the answer, first can you guess what aim is IAP goes for? Wealthiness or something else? The answer to why it can relate is because IAP does not work just for profit. IAP goes for more, even to maintain a sustainable, peaceful environment and in which humanitarian equity, respect, and subservience are essential features. So the conclusion is, An IAP can develop their creativity or innovation to create a social or sustainable entrepreneurship that can help the environment. That's how it connects. Part number 4. Now I will show you one of the social and sustainable entrepreneurship case study in the next slide. So I found a social sustainable business in Indonesia, especially in Bali, which in my opinion it's very good because it has succeeded in helping the Balinese in SDG 6 goal about clean water and sanitation. The project title is Waste for Water, creating a community-led water desalination business to provide clean drinking water. Copernic carried out this project. Copernic itself is a research and development lab that conducts lean experiments to find what works and what doesn't, address the social and environmental challenges, and lean experiment to achieve the SDGs, especially in Indonesia. So in this project, Copernic collaborates with the Canada Fund for Local Initiatives or CFLI and Wujudkan Indonesia. So the problem is, many Indonesians still lack access of clean water. In Bali, access to water is increasingly challenging, primarily due to the rapid growth of the tourism industry. The construction of thousands of hotels has accelerated water security and make water access more difficult for many communities. Located off the southeast coast of Bali, Nusa Penida Island is among the driest regions in the province. To fulfill their water needs, people in Nusa Penida even collect rainwater. Copernic and partnerships create a solution to this problem, where clean water is obtained from the method of removing salt from the seawater to get fresh water. And as the technology continues to advance and become more affordable, it has become a promising solution for affordable drinking water. As the technology continues to advance and become more affordable, it has become a promising solution for affordable drinking water. The project will provide affordable drinking water access for coastal communities through a locally administered solar-powered desalination plant. So they install a community-run desalination facility in Nusa Penida, Bali to offer a waste for water payment system. So customers are able to obtain drinking water by exchanging it with recyclable waste, such as plastic bottles, cardboard, paper, and cash payment. So I think this project is a great way to help the locals and also helping the environment at the same time. The locals don't even need to worry about the payment method because they work closely with the local waste bank to implement the alternative payment system and engage the local community. The expected impact of this project is to provide access to sufficient, affordable, clean drinking water for 500 households to meet their daily water needs. So in my opinion, this project is creative because it can make innovation that help the Balinese people, especially in the Nusa Penida. Now we move on to part 5. I will talk about the opportunities and challenges in applying social business in Bali. I will talk about the challenges first. The first challenge is low public awareness. The awareness of Balinese people in achieving sustainability is still lacking. There are still many Balinese people who needs to be educated so they can be more concerned with the environment. It's a challenge for social entrepreneurs in conveying their message so Balinese people can understand and maybe also contribute. The second is must be able to adapt to the environment and culture of people in Bali. So Bali itself is very thick of culture. So social entrepreneurs need to understand the tradition in Bali so that the business that will be carried out later can be welcome and accepted well by the Balinese. The third is take care of document to the Balinese community and government. So unlike most countries or even provinces in Indonesia, Bali is unique. In Bali, there is such a thing as the Banjar system or desa adat. So when we want to open a business, we have to ask for permission not only from the government, but to the local community through desa adat too. The fourth is must have high creativity because the natural resources in Bali are limited and not as rich as other islands in Indonesia. The fifth, because Bali is a small island and there are not many natural resources that can be obtained, also Bali is more focused on tourism rather than managing natural resources. The last one is cannot build factories on a large scale. As I said before, Bali is a small island. Certain regulations do not allow building large factories. And even though it is possible, the cost will be very high compared to the other province in Indonesia. And therefore, this is also a challenge for social entrepreneurs who will build their business in Bali. Now I will talk about the opportunities. So there are four. The first one is Bali has a lot of potential if we have the creativity to create an innovation. The second, people in Bali are very open to new people and innovations that can help their environment. The third, the people in Bali are not too unfamiliar with English because Bali is a tourist destination area. That's why it's not difficult to communicate with locals in Bali. And other than that, Balinese people are very open if new people want to establish their cooperation here. And the last one, Bali is one of the most favorite tourist destinations. Therefore, building a business in Bali is not difficult and the potential for the business to develop is more significant. Alright, so that's all about my presentation. Thank you for your attention.